All right. So we're moving on to the last matchup of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And by the last matchup, not the Stanley Cup Finals. We're not talking about that yet. Just the last first round matchup, and that is the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. And I will start us
Third
off here.
straight year.
Yeah, for the third straight year. I remember, I think it was Jesse on SDPN, or maybe this was a bunch of people, but I remember Jesse saying this. He was like, "Yeah, this is like one of the most boring series. Like, it's just late at night. It's the same two teams.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is this?" But I think in terms of like two teams that really hate each other, I think there's like, I still think the playoff format should be changed. I know we just talked about that, but these teams are out for blood. Like, they do not like each other, and Edmonton has beat the Kings both years that they played against each other. So
Very true.
The Kings tried to shore up their center depth with Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think that's his name. He disappears sometimes, so I kind of forget.
Sometimes he's there, yeah.
Yeah, some he's there, some he's not.
Got him, and in the process made Winnipeg the insane playoff team they are right this year.
And that's what I said when we were doing our playoff picks at the beginning of the year. I'm like, you got Gabe Vilardi and Alex Iafallo, and those two players in the playoffs. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for Winnipeg. But that's a different series. I think Edmonton, again, you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl, you have Stuart Skinner, who kind of turned it around a bit this year.
I mean, the whole Corey Perry.
Don't forget the worm.
Yeah. Andy Vander Kane, come on.
Vander Kane.
He's been having a bit of
He's not even been playing. He's been getting
he's been scratched sometimes. Yeah, it's not been great.
But
it shows that depth.
I think that again, the expectation in Edmonton is we have to win it. Gotta at least get past the first. Well, I mean, win the cup, but like, it's an expectation to get past the first round.
Yeah.
And I just think the Kings have been so all over the place this year. Like I want to say on paper again that they have a very good team, and Cam Talbot.
They had a coach firing this year.
They did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so did Edmonton.
Actually,
the battle of the new coaches.
But like, Cam Talbot has given me every reason to be confident in the Kings goaltending as well. Like, more confident than Edmonton going into the playoffs for sure. Because Stuart Skinner still really young. Still doesn't have that much experience, whereas Talbot does. I still think Edmonton's going to take it in 7, but I feel like it goes 7. This is another one like with the West. I think I have 3 7-game series, but I feel like it goes 7.
They're close, man.
7. Yeah,
they're close. And you said Edmonton?
Edmonton in 7. Yeah, Edmonton in 7.
All right. Nick.
Yeah.
I'm like a teacher. I'm like a teacher's calling on him or something.
I like LA.
I want
too.
a popcorn
like
read,
Talbot.
Mr. Campbell. I pass it to somebody else.
So I like LA. I've always kind of liked Talbot too. But
now when he was in Ottawa,
David and Draisaitl, and it's hard to lose to those guys just because they make the game look easy. But I agree with you, Eric. They gotta you gotta win, right? Like, how do you, if you keep freaking losing in the first or second round, which they've notoriously been doing over the last handful of years, like, how are you going to be able to keep these guys around? Like,
that's the question. Yeah,
money talks and you can keep them, right? But like, do they really want to stay there? Like, you've been running back the same roster basically with some minor tweaks here and there. But it's like, what are they going to do? What you tried to bring Jack Campbell in, didn't work, right? Now you've been running back and forth him and Stuart Skinner for the last 2 years, and
the good part is Ken Holland is likely going to be gone after this year. His deal expires, and there has not been any talk about bringing him back, and that'll be a very good thing for them. That he doesn't know how to do it in the cap era. He was great Detroit, when they could spend as much money as they wanted and didn't have to worry about draft, but literally ever since the 04-05 like split happened, Ken Holland ruined Detroit on the way out, and didn't exactly help things along in Edmonton. He got where he got because he had fucking McDavid and Draisaitl when he arrived there. Like it's
with those two guys, you
have to really try to be bad. Like you,
and you do have to wonder when those two, if they'll want out. I'm sure Edmonton's a great place to play, and all that, but I don't like we always talk like McDavid needs to win a cup, like just for the good of the sport. McDavid needs to win a cup. You don't think he feels that most out of anybody?
I'm sure he absolutely does, and like he's been living this same cycle over the last 10 years. It almost feels like now.
We are 27, so his next year will be his 9th year, I believe.
Right, and he still has he even got to a conference final?
Yes. They've made it to a conference final. I'm pretty
against
sure.
I
don't remember.
But not very often.
Are you sure?
The Avalanche. They didn't win any games. They got swept by the Avalanche.
Okay, so they made it
won the cup
in 9 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And his expectation is that this guy is going to be one of the potentially one of the most winning players, or one of the best players, and win as much as possible, right? Like, I'm sure he's thinking, I gotta go somewhere that I can get a cup. He's gonna get paid and he's gonna get a cup.
Eventually that will happen.
I'm pretty sure he still has a few years left.
They can probably get past LA, so at least they're gonna get out of the first round. But
so your expectation is that the Oilers get out of the first round?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is mine.
Okay.
But
clean sweep.
With that, what Nick was saying though, the interesting thing is I'm pretty sure McDavid has a few more years left on his deal. But those questions, if they lose, are going to start as soon as next year, because next year is Draisaitl's final year on his deal. So that's going to be a talking point all year. Oh, you coming back? Oh, whatever.
McDavid's deal is done after 26.
And Draisaitl's not the type of player like who needs to. I'm sure that they will want to lock him down as soon as absolutely possible, right? However, he's probably going to be like, I'm good.
I need a reason. Yeah, I need a reason why I should be doing this.
I bet you he just plays out the season on his expiring deal. He's going to play good again, like he always does, because pick a season over the last 8 years.
He's insane.
No. And he's not going to unless he gets hurt. So he's like, he could be the first domino to fall, and if he leaves, right, like what's McDavid gonna want to stick around for? Because he's not gonna stay there. Like, the sports aren't like they used to be, and players aren't gonna just be like faithful to a team just because, right?
That is very true. Very true. All good points. But bringing it back to the series,
hockey, so who knows? But yes,
bring it back to the series and not the Oilers off season. I have the Oilers as well. I think the Kings are just they were too up and down, wishy-washy. They really, if you're looking at the standings, they really like barely got in. They barely got to this 3rd seed. Like they should have probably been a wild. They should have been a wild card because Vegas should have beat the Ducks on their final game, but they lost 4-1.
Yeah.
And the Oilers are just good, man. They got good center depth. They've got actually too many centers. They've got so many centers that they're playing them on the wing. And I think they just have a good setup, and they got Ekholm there. They have the better team, and they're too used to beating the Kings. I think they're gonna just do it again.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
We shall see.
I think that
over
sums
the next
it up
couple
pretty
weeks.
well.
I do just want to add one more thing into this.
Yeah.
Specifically, so Stuart Skinner, he did not have a great playoffs last year. In 12 of the starts that he had for Edmonton, he was pulled 4 times.
Oh,
that's not great.
The Edmonton Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers' backup goalie this year. Can anyone tell me who it is?
It's Calvin Pickard.
It's Calvin Pickard.
Oh my God, that was the guy that was in my head. I was like, so is it Calvin Pickard?
It's Calvin Pickard. So all I'm going to say is this. They need the goaltending. I still think they will win.
They do.
They need the goaltending.
Yeah.
And we'll get to
the
other rounds after this. But yeah, interesting stuff.